Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be talking about some of the aspects that first gave me culture shock when moving to the Netherlands. Coming from California, I'm accustomed to varied topography like mountain ranges and valleys, so I was a bit shocked by how flat the country is. However, it wasn't until I landed in Schiphol Airport and I learned that we were 4 meters below sea level. The realization hit me that much harder, especially when I got into the car and I saw the horizon stretch out for miles. That was pretty shocking for me. But after some time living here, I came to realize this was a pretty irrational fear, especially when I learned that the Dutch are excellent at water management and have great engineering skills. And this allowed me to learn better about flood barriers, dunes, dikes, and the canals that the Dutch have been working on for centuries. So at this point in time, it doesn't freak me out, but at first it did. Let's move on to Dutch birthday parties. So the first time I experienced one, I was really confused and slightly embarrassed for myself. At Dutch birthday parties, it's standard to say congratulations or Gefeliciteerd to the celebrant and to every guest present. Honestly, after some time going to parties, you get used to it. You come in, you say Gefeliciteerd, Gefeliciteerd. So yeah, it was a bit awkward for me at first, but now it's just second nature. However, it wasn't the congratulations that made me embarrassed for myself. It was the infamous birthday circles. Basically, all the guests sit in a chair formed in a circle, and the circle doesn't have to be perfect, and it doesn't matter where the party is hosted, be it a garden, a venue, or whatever. The point is that you go around the circle and you congratulate everyone, you take a seat, you get some cake, and the whole experience can be with complete strangers that you've never met. It can be incredibly fun, but I will be completely candid with you, it can also be traumatizing because before I experienced my first Dutch birthday party, of course, I did research beforehand. I talked to my Dutch friends about it to get their input. And I'm telling you, there's no way that you can prepare for this. At least this was my experience. Like, everything that I read about took place, but actually being there presently, physically in person, there's no way I could prepare for it. There just wasn't. So this brings me to the next topic, which is every first Monday of the month, a warning alarm goes off around noontime. And this is a warning alarm for any emergency or natural disaster. This is what it sounds like. The first time I experienced this was truly terrifying. I was at home fast asleep because I pulled an all-nighter doing my school thesis. And as soon as the alarm went off, I jerked out of my sleep. I ran downstairs. Nothing was happening. People were going about their day. I went back inside and then it hit me and I realized, oh, today is the first Monday of the month. So this is probably the practice alarm. How did I not put this on my calendar? Whenever my international friends come to visit the Netherlands, one of the first questions they come to ask me is, Hannah, why do the Dutch keep their blinds open? What I've heard from Dutch people I'm close to is that open curtains means you have nothing to hide. So essentially, this stems from Calvinism, where good, honest, decent people had nothing to hide. I've grown to keep my curtains open. We all know that the Netherlands is not the sunniest of countries. It rains a lot, it can be gloomy, and I just want to let in as much sunlight as possible. Moving on to cargo bikes and Bakfiets. So let me take a step back. A cargo bike is essentially what it sounds like. It kind of looks like a wheelbarrow. It's very popular in the Netherlands. and you use it to transport goods. I was really shocked by what was being transported. It wasn't just groceries or things of that nature. It was furniture and appliances. And that was quite shocking for me, only because, okay, so hear me out, only because my biking skills had not been that great here, and having moved to Amsterdam, there's a lot of tourists, there's a lot of locals, and it can feel a bit intimidating biking and adhering to all these different bike rules that I was never accustomed to. So when I saw people with these Bakfiets and they had this huge amount of things, I thought to myself, wow, that I don't know if that's something I could ever do. Last but certainly not least is the Dutch directness. From my personal experience, Dutch people are not shy to voice their opinions, and for a lot of foreigners this can take some time to get used to, especially depending on what culture you come from. So an example I can give is if you ask, you know, hey, what do you think of my outfit? Do you think it looks nice? You should expect a pretty straight on response. Obviously, this doesn't mean every single Dutch person would, you know, bluntly tell you how they feel, but from my experience, yes. If you ask a question, you should be somewhat prepared for the truth. So if you don't want to know, don't ask. I think that culture shock is a normal part of visiting or moving to a new country. And I think the longer that you stay in a place, you'll be able to adapt to your surroundings, the traditions, and the culture. And sometimes it takes time. And let's not forget that the experience can be different for each and every different person. So while sometimes I can find the Dutch directness quite endearing, I have a few international friends that don't necessarily think the same, and that's okay. So my advice is, if you travel or visit a new country, to come with an open mind, to be flexible, and to do your research. Learn about the traditions, learn about the customs, and yeah, do your best. And I think that's what matters most. Let me know in the comments below if there's anything that shocked you about visiting or first moving to the Netherlands, or even the US. Thanks for watching my video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!